I guess, like, you know, I just want to live the most, like, authentic life possible, and I want to do things and live, like, out of the authenticity of my heart and not be run by, like, unconscious things. And yeah, one of my other favorite young quotes is, until you make the unconscious conscious, it'll run your life, and you'll call it fate. And I guess a big part of this is, like, yeah, this is going to be one of the best ways that I've heard of to make the unconscious sort of conscious.
Yeah, I love how Jung describes the conscious mind, or says the conscious mind is like a little sailboat on top of the vast ocean of the unconscious mind. And I guess I'm here to discover, like, what lies beneath the surface, all the things unseen and unknown in my unconscious, and to see what's longing to be met with and loved, and I guess to try and discover anything that hasn't been able to make its way to my conscious mind. No, I guess better just to be over-prepared than under-prepared. Have extra pants just in case, just shoot myself, man. First heard about Ayahuasca for the first time when I was like 17. My first mentor, business coach, Ben, had done a bunch of like retreats in Peru. He told me about them, and then, like, pretty much as soon as I heard about it, I was like, yeah, dude, I gotta do one of these. I gotta try this. It's been on my mind for like six years or something. So we're in Mexico, heading out to a retreat center in Tepos land. So it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours away from here. And it's like 6 days or something. We did 2 ceremonies, and then there's a bunch of other stuff going on. I think it's a pretty beautiful part of the world, and then we just like some hikes and lots of time offline in nature, which is cool, just being fully offline from the business for 6 days. It's probably the first time I've done that since I had the business. So I'm looking forward to that aspect as well. Just arrived in Tepos land, the main town. The retreat center's kind of close to here. Get a bite to eat, have a look around, it's pretty beautiful. Hail, man. ¿Necesitas maps? Trying to find a place. Yeah, it's cool, man. First time, so I've heard a lot of things.
All right.
Have the experience finally.
Have you done any psychedelics?
Yeah, I've done like a lot of acid. We did mushrooms we did the thing in San Jose.
Okay.
And did some mushrooms there, and I've done a bit of ketamine.
Like it's a lot more like introspective, and you may get like really incredible visuals, like mind-blowing stuff, or you may not get any visuals at all, and it's more like, you know, memories and thoughts coming up with your parents and loved ones and your past relationships and siblings or whatever.
So I took like one cup, didn't feel anything, we waited like an hour and a half, and then had a second cup, and then that like kicked in pretty strong. And I sat with that for a bit, and then I felt like it like started to wane a little bit, and it was maybe like 4:30 in the morning, and the guy asked, do you want one more? So I had like one more at 4:30. Closing ceremony was like at 7 a.m. and everyone else kind of seemed like they were coming back to normal, but I think because I took that one kind of late, I was still like pretty wasted. And I was just like barely able to talk. And then we sat around for a couple of hours and I had breakfast, and I was just like trying to ground and like just trying to come back to earth, but I was still just like tripping. I don't know if that's the word you use, but I was still just very deep in it. I ate some mango, and then I came back into the room at like 9:30 or something, just thinking like surely this thing's gonna be over. And then pretty much once I come back into the room, I walked in and kind of just like looked at took my clothes off to go into bed, and I just like stared at myself naked here in the mirror. I don't know how long, I think probably like an hour or maybe an hour and a half, and I just was like looking in my eyes, and I just like started crying. And yeah, like I looked into my eyes, and like I had a look at like my fucking beard or my fucking stubble, and just like my body, and I just like, I felt that I was like, the story of like the whole of the human journey and all of humanity inside of one man. And I saw like from Adam to like hunter-gatherer, like the tribal version of me, the Viking version of me, the like middle-aged fucking knight version of me, the World War II version of me. And I just saw like this beautiful story of all of man, of just like fighting wars and loving women and family, and like just seeking God and seeking to know the reality of the universe through this like intense experience of war and love and pain and beauty, and I just saw all of it in me, like in that moment, and and it was just like so beautiful. And then when I've done like mushrooms or acid in the past, you have like these grand realizations, and you're like, fuck, that's it. And like you have these big breakthroughs, but then like after the trip ends, they just don't feel that profound. They don't like sink in that much. It's just like, oh, that was a cool thought, but it doesn't.
It's like they were just part of the mushrooms.
Once the mushrooms are gone, like that, the connection to that idea is kind of gone. But all like the things that like kind of like clicked, they just like still feel like so true and like very important.
The calling. Everybody, Temazcal. Temazcal calientito.
So yeah, practically speaking, what is the ayahuasca?
So there are two plants being brewed together. One is the vine and the other one is usually chacruna. It's a leaf of a bush and that has the DMT. So ayahuasca, the vine, has the inhibitor because DMT is produced in the system, and if you just drink, let's say, the tea of the DMT plant, then it's not going to have effect on you. So you need a blocker that blocks the DMT from being just running through your body. I would say it is the most profound healing you can do to yourself. It's like 5 years of therapy in one night. The medicine can show you like a completely different value system, which is a lot more aligned with nature and the universe itself. So.
Awesome. Epic. Thank you for sharing, man. Yeah. Thanks for this week together.
Yeah, thank you. My pleasure.
I'm excited for tonight, the last ceremony.
Yeah, awesome.
It's going to be good. It's so funny, like just looking over during the night, and this guy's just got the biggest smile on his face, just looking like he's up to no good. And I'm there just like losing it, and you're just there by the fire with this big smile. So it's very reassuring to look at. Yeah, I'm feeling really tired. I barely slept last night. I had like some stomach stuff after the ceremony. I didn't purge during the ceremony, but I don't know if I particularly necessarily like looking for like a particular like answer on something. I'm just pretty keen to see just what comes up. And I think that definitely happened on the first night, just some cool things that I guess I've been wrestling with internally, kind of come up, and I got some clarity on them. So I guess I'd like deeper clarity maybe on those things, or just like clarity on new things.
Y en el centro este fuego, mi familia va limpiando, mi familia va sanando y siempre abierto.
This is where I slept. Had a few blankets and a few less flowers. And yeah, we kind of came in at like 11 p.m. Last night was pretty challenging. I was super sick. All day yesterday, just like vomiting and like going to the bathroom like a couple times an hour. And I didn't think I was going to be able to do it just because my body was racked. And I had the first one, sat with it for like an hour, and then my stomach was just like grumbling so loudly. So I went and did a little tactical vomit. And then chilled, kind of felt that a little bit. And then I had one more, and then I just went into this really weird like dream state for from probably 3 a.m. till like 8 or something. And I don't really remember much from it, but I was just kind of like dozing in and out of like being awake and just seeing the music, the fire, and then just like sitting there and then like being back and just having crazy vivid dreams, but I don't remember any of them. But I think the first night, I just felt like a lot of like profound things kind of like just dropped in. And then last night just felt like a big blur. Like I don't even know what happened. I was just like awake or asleep, and yeah. I did quite a bit of writing about how I felt about like 7 days after the experience. I was with my sisters. We went to the beach for a week, and as far as like how I feel after it, like I can feel like subtle shifts like inside of myself, how I'm reacting to things, or like my thoughts and my feelings, just like subtly. I wouldn't say I feel like transformed, but I can just feel some like subtle shifts inside of myself. And like I feel
I probably feel like I have a bit of just a deep presence, or I felt, like I've been taking things, especially when I was away over those few days, I feel like I was just taking things slower, and that felt quite nice. And yeah, of course, like when you go into around like ayahuasca experience, but any psychedelic experience, but probably particularly ayahuasca, there's obviously so many stories and expectations about what it is, because everyone has like their own unique experience. After like just sitting with it a few days, I'm like, I'm super grateful for the experience I got. It's pretty different to what my expectations were and what you hear spoken about on like a Joe Rogan interview desk, Joe Rogan interview about how somebody met God and like danced with fairies. Like I didn't get that. My experience was kind of different. That is, I guess, like the beauty of an education in the world. You're going into the unknown. There's no blueprint. There's no path. It's just going into the unknown and letting life lead me. And yeah, I'm not following somebody else's path, or my experience won't be defined by the experiences of others. I'm just, out here following my curiosity, following what's in my heart and seeing where it leads me. And this has been on my heart for a long time, so I'm grateful that I got to do this thing and fulfill that, and grateful for everything that it's brought me. It was so beautiful. I got this line and it was like, your job is to fight the wars and to love the women, and God's job is to teach you about the stars.